Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Checkpoint Corner, our video game podcast. I'm the host, Ryan. Got my co-host, Tyler.
Hello.
And once again, co-host, Matheran.
Hello.
We are going to get pretty spicy today. We're going to be discussing overrated games. But before we get to that, how are you guys doing?
Tired.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same.
Once again, recording kind of late. Had a long day.
But that's A-okay.
Now we just get to talk about games.
Yeah.
So, you guys have been playing anything this week since the last podcast?
Playing Hollow Knight.
Hollow
Tyler
Knight.
here got me back into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing Hollow Knight as well.
Yeah.
And some Apex.
Yeah. I've been playing the new season of Halo Infinite.
I wish I could join you.
It's not working on your computer for some reason. Maybe you should try on your Xbox.
Maybe.
But yeah, that new season is, I don't know, it's still just more of the same, I guess. I guess it's cool that there's more stuff, but it's such a slow release for that game.
Yeah. It doesn't help that the seasons are so long.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing 6-month seasons. I'm just waiting for Forge to come out, but now I'm just overhyping it so much that I'm going to be disappointed.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I've been enjoying King of the Hill a lot.
Nice.
Anything else?
Not really. I can think of...
Then I guess that means we can just jump straight into our topic of games we think that are overrated.
Yes. Yeah.
Turn a lot of people against us because I've got some big ones on here.
Yeah.
But how do we want to do this? Do we just want to go one at a time? Oh, I got my phone. One at a time around like the around it in a circle.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You can start.
I'll start. Let me pull up my list that I did. Okay, so the first one on my list is The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt.
I also have that on my list.
I didn't play through all of it. Most of these games I didn't play through all of because I thought they were overrated. But yeah, The Witcher 3 is an interesting game because I really like the idea of it.
Yeah. It's a really cool world.
Hunting monsters, like.
Yeah, that's sick.
I couldn't get into the game. I do plan on like giving it another shot, but there's just so much like aspects of that game. And when the people talk, it's usually like political talk. It's very boring. And just the way they talk is a little boring.
Yeah.
So I kept falling asleep whenever they talk about something. And I don't know, fighting creatures in video games, for some reason, I'm just like, they're not super interesting when I fight creatures. So it didn't really connect with me. Like, I think it was just, it felt like, the way I describe it is like this MMO world, but in a single player game.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, you have to go, you want to craft this? Well, you need all these materials. And it's like, I don't know where to find all those materials.
Oh gosh,
and there was just too much for me. But yeah, Witcher 3, that's one of my games I thought were a little overrated.
Yeah, from what little I saw of you playing it, it took you an insane amount of time to defeat a single boss. And it just like, it wasn't like kind of a measure of aptitude like other boss fights are. It was just kind of the same thing over and over again. And it just looked not very fun from what I saw. But again, that is only what I saw. I haven't played it myself.
Yeah, also kind of connected. I think the show is a little overrated too.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the second season, but the first season was, I didn't really like, except for that one episode where he fights the thing with the chain or whatever in the castle.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, The Witcher 3, I think that game is a little overrated. And yeah. So Tyler, do you want to go next?
The first one on my list is Dead Space.
Oh, and I'm a little salty about this one. Go,
now,
say your piece.
This is only the first Dead Space.
Okay.
I've heard the second one's a lot better.
I like the second one more.
And yeah, but the first Dead Space is just so bare bones. There's not a lot to it. And it's more boring than anything because you're just walking around a ship trying to fix it. And yeah, I don't know. The enemies got pretty boring after a while. And it got kind of frustrating trying to shoot the limbs off of them and as they wiggle around.
Yeah, that's where the scariness comes in. I like the first Dead Space. I wouldn't call myself like like I don't think it's like like a masterpiece like some people, but it is like a first. It's just like I think it's a really good third person survival horror.
Yeah.
And I mean I'm disappointed you couldn't get into it.
I'm not a very survival horror kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get into it because I like the design of the main character specifically. But it's hard to get into a series when he's like, I know he talks in future games, but when he's just, I guess, this
grunting.
Silent protagonist.
Yeah, silent protagonist. It's, I don't know.
I really like it. I still remember when you first encounter the creatures and like all the lights go off and like the thing drops down from the vent. And
Yeah.
I love just the idea of Dead Space, and it gets weirder in as the series goes on. But yeah, it is kind of weird that the Isaac doesn't talk in the first game, but you should definitely try out the remake when it comes out.
I probably will try it out when that comes out.
Yeah. I have not personally played Dead Space. I've seen you play it though,
Yes.
as I have seen you play a lot of games. But I did see this interesting video about the rules that the Dead Space creators had when they were making it. One of them is that they didn't want any cutscenes in the game whatsoever.
They don't have. It's all.
And I feel like that is such a smart move because like a lot of the things that they did for that game psychologically were really like smart, and ahead of its time. And I think that's really what carries that game's weight and its, bare boneness, as you might say.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's even that one scene where you're being dragged by the giant tentacle. It's still interactive. Like you're still shooting at it to survive and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a great part, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate everything about it. That is a good part.
There's no loading. They hid the loading screens with like the train, the subway system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think in the remake they're removing those because now they have the power to do that. But yeah, that I like that aspect. It really brings you into the horror aspect.
Yeah.
Plus, it ends on a cliffhanger.
I never finished it. The first Dead Space.
Well, you should play the second one at least.
That's why you keep telling me, but
I am pretty salty about that one, but we can move on, Matheran.
All right, this one's probably gonna be quick because I think it's a game that everyone in the entire universe now would agree on is overrated. It's Among Us.
Yeah,
it's so overrated to the point of where it is just like funny to say or think about. Like it's just a joke now.
Yeah,
I know that there are people out there that still play it legitimately, and anyone can still play it legitimately. But if you say, "Hey, I'm gonna play Among Us," like you're gonna get laughed at. I'm sorry. It's just gotten so blown out of proportion with how it started out and then what it became and just what it is now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the game itself is a pretty like well-rounded game.
Yeah,
but it's just
it's
like
not bad.
Yeah, it's just
but
everything around I guess got blown way out of proportion, like you said.
Yeah. It started out as just like normally overrated, and then that overratedness itself just kind of became such a huge universal joke. I think like just universally everyone knows that it's just the funny go-to thing now.
Yeah,
which is kind of insane if you think about it, honestly. Like I don't think I've seen a game this overrated in any aspect for like eons. I haven't lived that long, but I'm sure anyone would say the same thing.
It is kind of in that realm of like Fortnite and
Among
Us, just the new game that everyone has to play. Everyone's screaming and it's easy to pick up and
yeah, but no, it's just more of a funny thing to me.
Yeah, it's like it is just a fun little game, and it shouldn't be this giant. It is like, I mean, it's a giant thing now. So
yeah,
I would agree that maybe the love for that game is overrated. If you guys play on Steam, the listeners, you should check out Unfortunate Spaceman.
Oh my god!
Oh god!
I prefer that over Among Us, first person Among Us. It's a little goofier and it's not super polished.
Oh god, yeah.
But I like that. I have fun with that.
Yeah, it's just a fun game to mess around in, which is really all anyone does in Among Us.
Yeah.
Like when you're just playing with friends.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll give my second one. This is kind of a 2-for-1 deal.
Oh,
so this one is gonna hurt some people because I know especially the second one is regarded as one of the best games like ever made.
Oh God.
But Red Dead 1 and 2 are, I think, pretty overrated. Now, the second one I think is probably better than 1. And I haven't played through all of it because I thought they were boring. But like the second one just really took its time at the start, and then it went on. There was like this hunting mission, and it just was a tutorial on how to hunt, and it took forever. Yeah. And then you're kind of just walking with whatever character you're doing a mission with, and then talking and walking, and then maybe you get to shoot. And there's like some fun moments in the second one. And I played the first one because I was like, okay, I'm going to finally play through the Red Dead games, which I do plan on doing at some point. And I played the first one, and I hated the freaking missions in that game. I just want to be a fun cowboy doing fun cowboy things.
Yeah.
And I do this mission, and it's like, the cows have gotten out. We gotta freaking save the cows.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And it's just like, why don't you like walk to the town so that you can like, I don't know, like deposit a check or something.
Yeah.
Like, where's the like? Wait, I want to do freaking like this. I just want to do cowboy stuff.
Yeah, I think it has the same problem as like Witcher 3 does, where it's just like so many like realistic mechanics that just bog down on the fun.
The second one especially.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The second one, I almost completely got through that game at one point. And I gotta say, for the story, there are some key moments that are just really good.
Yeah, I've heard the story is really good.
Yeah, like that's what's carrying it. But it is so good, I feel like, that people tend to ignore the mechanics that are fleshed out throughout the entire game. Like horse riding, you literally can put down the controller and let the game play itself. Yeah. Which, if you want to soak in the environment, that's great. But if you actually want to play the game, there's like, I don't think there's fast travel other than the trains or something. But
I don't remember.
It's just like getting from point A to point B sometimes is just like, it's just grating. It's just, ugh.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I have with it, though, is the combat. Because I feel like the combat is way, way too easy. There's a point of where they're just sending an unrealistic amount of enemies at you, like way unrealistic, to make it challenging. Literally, the game aims for you. And then when you do your Deadeye thing, you're just painting targets by like looking at them, and your guy is doing these super unrealistically cool things, which kind of goes against just the whole realism aspect of that game, and how there's so many mechanics that are just meant to be super realistic, and then you get into combat and it's just so strange because it's
that's
just
an
like
interesting point.
It kind of broke my immersion there, and I just didn't feel like I was having fun when I got too much into the combat, especially when you're trying to take cover, because the cover in that game is really bad and broken. But it's, that was just my main thing. If they made it to like where you were rewarded for having good aim in like third person and like being able to
headshot.
Just being able to like be skillful in how you play, not just like how well you can hide behind this cover and how quickly you can take out the enemies. That's just really all it boils down to.
Yeah,
and it just gets so stale after a while.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a setting to turn off auto aim or something.
Oh god, yeah, maybe.
I barely played that game. I got bored immediately and stopped playing it.
Yeah,
and
I heard like the start of the second game is really slow, because it is really slow.
Yeah,
and then I was like, okay, now when does the fun actually begin?
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's so hard for me to get into games with slow starts, because then I like don't have really a motivation to explore the world, especially when the world just kind of looks like a wasteland, and then the towns are all trashy and stuff. So it's like,
I mean, for me, like the start of the game is the most important part. It's really got to hook you in.
And for the story aspect of it, I thought they nailed it. But as for like introducing all the mechanics, you're like, oh, these aren't going to be like mechanics you'll see later on, and then they are. They're just like really just tedious. So many tedious, little mechanics, and you're like, oh, is this a thing?
There's this one game that I played on the PS2 called Gun.
Oh my god!
That game, I had way more fun in Gun than any Red Dead mission I played, and I hate the way. What's the freaking developer? Is it
Rockstar.
Yeah.
Rockstar. Okay, I was like confused between Rocksteady and Rockstar. It's Rockstar's way of doing missions,
Oh my god.
because
yeah.
like there's like I don't know if they did it for the second game. I think it's better in the second game, but in the first game you have like all these missions on the map, and you have to go to them, but some of them aren't the main mission, and you have to do the side missions to unlock the main missions.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this game on gun was I had like you're freaking fighting in a bar on fire while people throw. Then you immediately go to this brig where you have to fight Native Americans, and then it's just constant fun scenario after fun scenario. And I was like, where was this in Red Dead?
Yeah.
And I just want to be like a fun cowboy, and you're not giving it to me. I'm being
Yeah.
this slow paced hunter guy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting in Red Dead because you can kind of like pick and choose between which essential missions, quote unquote, because it's like it kind of like after a few missions, then a main story one will pop up, and you're not really sure which one is this main story one until you get to it. Is what it is in Red Dead 2, at least. I don't know about the other ones, but and like I thought that was a good idea until the ones that you like have to pick and choose, they sound fun or they don't sound fun, and they just end up being like just a slog, you know. There's like all these characters that you really don't want to have to do a mission for, but you know you have to do it, and it's like you just want to avoid them.
That's why I just don't like that Rockstar system of like the side missions and stuff. Because when I played through all of Bully, and I played through that game just because I thought it was like the attitude of that game is really funny.
Yeah,
But
like
I didn't want
goofy.
to. I didn't like the whole like mini game aspect of the side missions. And like same goes for like Red Dead. It just felt like, oh, make sure you know like get this guy safely from point A to point B on this carriage, and
Yeah,
it's like, okay, why can't I rob a carriage? Like,
yeah, you can only do that sometimes, you know.
yeah, I know that they're there, but it's just it felt so far and few between.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that one's a pretty hot one.
Yeah,
Red Dead 1 and 2. But Tyler, what's your second one?
Well, my second one is something a bit controversial, so I'll save that for later.
Okay.
This one is also really controversial, but I have Metal Gear Solid 5.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is one I don't have on my list, but I might have to agree.
It's like I've seen so many fun clips and so many fun abilities that like when I was actually excited to play it, and like the starting of it really hooked me. But then when I actually got to the open world, it was like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Like, I just want to have fun in this world, and I just didn't know where to go
Yeah,
or what to do.
Yeah,
I was mainly lost.
Yeah, I think that's one thing, because the game gives you so much choice that it's kind of overwhelming to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be like I just found myself going into a place and like you could do it stealthily or whatever, and I would just, well, I want to run and gun.
Yeah.
And I got to this one mission where you had to like get this car and drive away, but like these like super powered mutant things would come after you, and I couldn't win that, and it turns out you need to complete this other mission or something to get this upgrade. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then that's when I stopped.
Yeah.
And there's so much like micromanaging you have to do with your team or whatever at your base.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like you had to hire people and like have them research stuff, which sounds fun, but it was just like so much.
Yeah, it was just really tedious, and
But I don't know. Yeah, I didn't find myself. That game didn't hook me, but
yeah, it was just like, all like those clips that I saw people like messing around and stuff. It looked like so much fun, and I think it was the letdown that.
it didn't give you all that immediately.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah, but I didn't like. I guess it didn't hold my hand at the start, so then I could get to the stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess it's my own opinion, and I guess it's not a very fair criticism, but
I
that's
really
just my
like-
experience.
I really like the just like the weird stuff in that game.
Yeah, the start was great when you're like in the hospital and stuff.
Yeah, even though you had to slowly crawl through the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. That is so true. But even like, I don't have this on my list, but the Hideo Kojima games, are they like, I wish he would make movies or something, because like
Yeah.
I wouldn't call this game overrated, because I think it's not like Metal Gear Solid 5 where everyone most people are like, this game's amazing, which is great. I'm sure it's great, but it just didn't connect with us.
Yeah.
But like Death Stranding, so fascinated by the story, but the gameplay is so mind-numbingly boring
Oh god,
that I can't get through it.
Yeah.
But
I've never played that.
That's
game.
not on my list for overrated because I feel like a lot of people also agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Matheran, you want to go?
Well, I promise my third option is more controversial than my first and second option, because my second option I feel like is another franchise, not just a game, a franchise.
franchise?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
no.
that everyone can agree is pretty overrated, and that is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up a bit on Call of Duty, you know, when I was old enough, I guess,
Yeah.
quote unquote. And it's just, you know, there's just some people I feel like that just don't realize that game, those games, I mean,
Mhm.
are just one game.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
every year.
Just reskin.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I have this theory that your favorite Call of Duty is just whatever you played in like middle school.
Oh my god, yeah, you're
'Cause
you're probably right.
If
Yeah.
you see it every time a new Call of Duty comes out, was like they peaked in whatever one was like, I don't know, 8 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
But
I would definitely say like more people I feel like are coming around that like, okay, Call of Duty is like kind of over. Like
Yeah.
the newer games I feel like aren't very overrated, but I feel like the older games might be a little overrated.
Oh,
Maybe you should
definitely.
try and take your nostalgia glasses off and maybe look at those games like
Yeah.
into,
I mainly like the ones that were more creative, like, because they didn't do this much, but when they did, it was a lot more fun. The ones that were more creative with their gameplay, though, like in Advanced Warfare, how there was all those crazy weapons and stuff, and just how they changed up the mechanics. I thought that was fun solely because of that, and I knew the game was bad too.
Yeah, I didn't like
but-
Advanced Warfare.
But I had so
Me
much
neither.
fun with it because you could just dick around in it.
Yeah.
Same with Black Ops 3. I thought that it was a good game, but it also just kind of changed up things a bit too.
I liked Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Black Ops 4 had a pretty interesting concept of the healing thing. And then you never saw it again
Yeah,
because it failed.
I always forget Black Ops 4 exists.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
me too.
I like that they tried to be creative with it. And that's all that I want to see them do now. But they're not going to do that.
I think it's the yearly thing
Well-
that really pushes them down.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
Like, any game that
sorry,
like
go ahead.
releases yearly, like they're just limiting themselves. Like, why put that restriction on yourself?
No, it's like a
Yeah.
yearly subscription service.
Yeah,
we get
yeah.
paid.
But talk about creativity. They now got Godzilla and King Kong.
Oh my God.
In Warzone or whatever's happening.
I wouldn't even say that's creativity. That's just like, that's just money
Brand.
grabbing.
Yeah.
Brand
branding.
recognition. Yeah, I would. Yeah, mhm. Call of Duty.
That sure is a franchise.
Sure
It
is.
is a franchise and it's still kicking.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's
I mean,
it's-
it
it's
might be
kicking.
kicking and screaming.
yeah, it's still kicking though. It's gonna die out though pretty soon if it keeps up like this.
And
is
I think
what
Warzone might let this become what Call of Duty is.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I guess I'm also having a franchise for my next one.
Oh,
And this one's pretty controversial, but like I feel bad saying it because so many people grew up on these games, but I think the Legend of Zelda games
oh.
are a little overrated.
I kind of have to disagree.
I think
I haven't played that many. Sorry, go ahead.
but I just think the Legend of Zelda. I've played Ocarina of Time or tried to, and it was just kind of generic, and there wasn't anything super special about it. And then I played Breath of the Wild, which is pretty good, but it gives you a lot of freedom to have fun, which is great. But again, it just doesn't really click with me. So I just think that they're overrated.
Yeah.
Because, but I do think Breath of the Wild is a really good game.
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
just the other Legend of Zelda games, like I tried Twilight Princess, I tried Wind Waker, and it was just like the same thing, and it wasn't very like with Mario I can kind of jump from game to game because I know I'm going to get really like fast paced, and most of them at least fast paced, like fluid platforming that'll keep me going on a flow. But with the Zelda games, like, I'll meet some quirky characters here and then. The writing's kind of goofy and fun.
Yeah.
But nothing else really wants me to like keep playing these games.
Yeah.
I just think there's a certain charm to the Legend of Zelda games that I love
Yeah,
a
definitely.
lot. I mean, I haven't played that many. I've played Wind Waker. I've played Link's Awakening. I played the first one.
You played Twilight Princess, right?
Yeah, I played Twilight Princess too.
That's a sequel.
Also, and I don't know, like Wind Waker, like it was pretty fun when you weren't sailing around. Like it did get pretty boring sailing around, but I liked it when you weren't. Like the final boss fight, I still remember when you're like fighting Ganon and stuff. That was a lot of fun, and it was just a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Breath of the Wild especially is really beautiful.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Twilight Princess was pretty ugly. But
Yeah.
I didn't like the art design or style of it at all, but I still thought it was a pretty cool concept, turning into a wolf and two different.
That is your dream.
I do wish to be a wolf someday. That's my one true goal. And
Oh,
Twilight
okay.
Princess is the only thing that will ever get me as close to that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there's just a certain charm about the game.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. That is like what makes The Legend of Zelda what it is today, I feel like, is that charm. And to anyone that's not really like, like say you, Ryan, you just didn't really click with that charm, that's what makes it more overrated, I think. Because like I beat Ocarina of Time. I beat Breath of the Wild twice, I think.
And you like played that game to death.
I played it so much. It's so much fun. And I really wish I could say I've beaten this, but I have gotten mostly through Majora's Mask, which in my opinion is like one of the greatest Legend of Zelda games ever.
Yeah, I have not played that one.
Just because it has one mechanic in it that I've like almost never seen in any game. But anywho, it's that charm, it really carries that franchise, and they do come up with a lot of creative ideas, but a lot of their base things are just kind of the same, except for like in Breath of the Wild, where they changed up like almost everything.
Yeah, a lot of like the Legend of Zelda games always has like a gimmick, like this one you turn into a wolf, this one you're a sailor, this one the moon's crashing,
This one you're not wearing a hat.
It's like
this one you turn into 2D.
Yeah, it's like that they all have that gimmick, but usually their base game is still the same, and
Some of them kind of mesh together.
Yeah. So like that's why I really appreciated Breath of the Wild for just going like totally left field.
You could say it's a breath of fresh air.
You're totally right. And like it was weird seeing it go open world, but they did such a good job on that open world, I feel like, that it was, and just mixed with the charm of Legend of Zelda, that's why it was so good.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about the Legend of Zelda series is the sound design.
Holy shit, yeah.
They are so iconic. Every time you hear it, you know immediately where it's from.
But you could say that about other games from that
Oh,
era
you
too.
could too, yeah.
Yeah, but like Legend of Zelda, it's got a certain sound design, and it's, I don't know, it's just so charming about it. It's just
the
like,
charm with the sound,
yeah.
So many charming
So you just
aspects
love
about it.
listening to that fairy go, "Hey, listen!"
Okay, nobody like that, but
no, not that sound design.
It really just brings out the nostalgia.
No, but like when Link opens a chest every time, I love that. I never get tired of hearing that music and that excitement of what you're gonna get.
what you're gonna get. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize that there's a charm. I think it's mainly just like, I don't know, I didn't grow up with it, and it just seems basic to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like, but I'm glad people have that childhood.
Yeah. Just in general.
Just that childhood with the Legend of Zelda franchise.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, you want to say your next one?
I don't really know if this is an overrated game, but I don't know. It got a sequel, so I'm gonna say Evil Within. I didn't really like all that much.
Even Within's not really. I don't know.
I see a lot of good stuff about it.
It didn't sell very well, especially the second one, because it's the same director as Resident Evil 4, and the first game was just kind of like, this is kind of just like Resident Evil 4,
Yeah.
But I for the record, I really love the Evil Within games. The second one I think is amazing. But yeah, the second one didn't really do too well.
I didn't play the second one. I
But
played the
people who
first
have
one.
played it say it's really good.
So within the people that have played it, I think it's a little bit overrated.
You haven't even played the second one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first one.
Well, the first one maybe too. I think the first one definitely sold better than the second one.
Really?
I think, yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah, it just didn't really
Let me look
catch
up
me.
the sales really quick. Keep talking.
It was very basic, like Resident Evil style.
That's what I kind of got from it, from what I saw.
It was a little weirder because, like, at the start, you're like in the big city or something.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I thought the main character was a little. I didn't really like the main character. I don't know. Like, was nothing really memorable about him, and
Yeah.
kind of
yeah.
basic enemy designs. From what
Yeah,
I
the
can
Evil
remember.
Within sold really well, the first one.
Yeah, so it is overrated.
Well, I mean, people didn't like. It's not like as well regarded as the second one, but the second
Yeah.
one barely didn't sell that well. Anyways,
Really? That's interesting, honestly.
And yeah, it's probably the only reason I played it was because of you, Ryan.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I do suggest a lot of survival horror games.
Yeah, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the genre.
I like Evil Within. It was kind of like a fun throwback to like those like Resident Evil games, like
Yeah.
like the third
That's-
person one.
That's probably like why it got that relevance, is because it was a throwback to the old Resident Evil games,
Yeah.
which had been thinning out at the time.
And it was just kind of like, the director of the same director, the Resident Evil 4 guy, is making basically Resident Evil 4 but different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in on this. But I really like the first one. I mean, the villain, Ruben.
Ruben.
Ruben
He was-
from Minecraft Story Mode?
He was alright, I guess. I don't know. He didn't catch my eye that much. And it was more just boring. I didn't like, because the story was more just at the start, at least, just confusion. I didn't really know what my goal was.
Mm-hmm.
And like, where I was just like, the main character was stumbling in this city. Like, there's kind of like a thing at the start, but
You go into the stem or whatever it's called.
yeah.
I don't.
That was cool.
It's been a while since I played the first one, so I don't really
Me
remember a lot
too.
of it.
But yeah, I put it on my list because I've heard a lot of good things about it from other people.
Well, you should, just like Dead Space, you should definitely play the second one. 'Cause I think
But I gotta play the first one first.
You don't have to. They explain things.
But it kind of
Plus, I think-
messes with my mind.
I think you can watch a recap movie.
A recap movie.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
The second one's is better,
Yeah.
but that's sad. I don't like seeing survival horror games on overrated
I'm
lists.
sorry, it's
Yeah.
not my kind of game.
Damn. Hey, Matheran, what's up next on your list?
Okay, mine, maybe not to you guys, but I feel like it will be controversial to people out there. Is Fallout 3.
Is over. I haven't played Fallout 3.
Me neither.
I was the only one that did, and I didn't play much of it, but this is me coming off of the heels, being a fan of both Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. You can hate me for liking Fallout 4 or
Fallout
whatever.
4 is on my list.
Yeah. Oh, for overrated?
Oh no,
For
underrated. Sorry.
Underrated. Okay, yeah.
Because I actually made underrated list because I forgot we were doing overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun in both those games. I feel like New Vegas is definitely the better game of those two. That's just my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think everyone would agree that New Vegas is
Yeah.
the best Fallout game.
Yeah. But I know that there is a pretty damn big following of Fallout 3 as well. And I gotta say, after playing a little bit of it, I got so unbelievably bored of it that I just gave up. Nothing about that game was interesting. None of the characters, the environment was either brown or green, and it was always the most ugly thing to look at.
Yeah.
And like, just all the characters were so boring and basic, at least at the beginning. It was just not fun to play. One of my biggest gripes of it, though, was in order to travel anywhere, you don't just walk across the map to get there, maybe avoiding this place that looks dangerous, or you have to go through these dumbass subway tunnels to get anywhere. And they are the worst part about that game, because they're just filled with enemies, which, that could be cool, but it's not because there's all the same enemies all the time.
Oh,
They
gosh.
look terrible, and they're just it's awful to get through.
Yeah, I never really liked the art design of the Fallout games. It was always just kind of gross, and I know that's kind of the point,
Yeah,
but it was just always just kind of gray
yeah.
Brown.
and brown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I like about New Vegas and Fallout 4, though, is that they bring so much more like color and life to everything.
That's true.
And that was completely lacking in Fallout 3. I felt like.
I guess like in Fallout 3, at the start, that you get to grow up.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like you literally start out as a baby, and I thought that was pretty fun. But once you get out of the vault, like everything just goes to shit. Honestly,
Everything changes.
I mean, obviously everything changes, but just in as a Fallout experience, when you usually get out of a vault or something, wherever you start, it's like this whole place to explore. For me, it was like, wow, I don't want to explore any of this because none of this looks interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even know which way is the right way, honestly, because it all looks just like the gross way, the way I don't want to spend my
gross
time.
way.
on.
The gross
way.
way.
It's like, at that point in the game, like if you're replaying a game that you really like, there's always just that one long part that you have to get through, but you really don't want to, but you just want to get through it. That's like
Yeah.
what the entire game felt like.
Yikes.
So that was my experience with that.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say. I haven't played much of I haven't played any of Fallout 3.
Yeah, same.
And if I did, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
move on
much.
to the next one on my list. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I made a video about it recently, and I've talked about it kind of recently, but I think Elden Ring is really overrated. I just think the world it's too much, and they over-tipped in things and so it becomes unfocused and scrambled. But I guess, you can watch
Yeah.
my video on my
Yeah,
channel,
yeah.
Sir Punchlebot.
Yeah.
Please subscribe.
And ring that.
I really like the concept of
I do
Elden
too.
Ring. It, of any of the Souls-like games like that, like they all look incredible. But yeah, I feel like them going open world in a Souls-like game like that is really what brought it down.
Yeah,
It's that structure, not
guess,
to cut you off, but
I guess I do like that structure. Like they do
Yeah.
have the dungeons and whatever, but like I just like pathways,
yeah,
not big fields
yeah,
with
yeah.
where bosses can just fly down on you and you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm fighting a boss now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say much. I'm not much of a Souls player. I've been playing through Bloodborne recently.
I
but
mean, technically, Hollow Knight is
I
a
guess
Souls
Hollow
game.
Knight. It's a Metroidvania. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
It's a
pretty.
it's a Souls Metroidvania.
Yeah, it's a lot like Souls. I do love Hollow Knight.
And I love Bloodborne, so
I never said Bloodborne's a bad game.
thank you. Now, what's the next game on your list? And if you say Bloodborne,
It's actually Bloodborne.
no. Motherfucker.
No, this next game is very controversial. I'm pulling out the extremely controversial.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
I think Skyrim is pretty
Oh.
Okay, I was gonna have that on my list, but I kind of
What?
thought about it more, and I was like,
If
I don't
anything,
know.
Skyrim's underrated, dude.
Yeah,
like, with how
I
many
don't know
times
about
it's been
that.
Skyrim
released.
Yeah.
No. I know Skyrim is the butt of a lot of jokes, but and I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because I'm saving it for another podcast episode topic that we can get into. But Skyrim is one of the greatest games ever made.
Whoa,
I will take that
is
to
a
my grave.
hefty statement.
Well, I know you love it, but I used to think I enjoyed it, but looking back, I really didn't.
No,
Yeah.
it's so it's poorly put together. The characters have funny stupid animations. The dialogue is really weird, and that's what just adds to the charm of Skyrim.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's the only reason why I have like a little bit of fond memories playing it was just because of all those wacky animations. But I don't know why, but because like looking back, I think it's just those kind of games. Like I didn't really like Outer Worlds. I couldn't get into New Vegas. I couldn't get into
Yeah.
Fallout 4.
Yeah.
All those kind of games just don't catch me. And I think it's because, I don't know, it takes so long to do anything.
No, it really does. I think
In Skyrim,
replaying Skyrim, I'm just going to say this. If you're replaying that game, you're going in thinking about the things that you really like. Once you get in that game, though, then you start remembering all the things that take so long, you know? Like I was saying before about Fallout 3,
Yeah.
there are so many things that are just a whatever it is to get through. It's okay. How many caves have you gone through that look different from each other?
I've gone through so many caves in that game every single time because I know what's in them, and that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah, but like at the same time, all that I at least remember is going through the damn same cave and then having the end result being different, yes, but just going through those damn caves and dungeons all the time.
That's
And
why. Go ahead.
A lot of it is just like one of the reasons that I don't have a lot of fun with it is because sometimes it's really awkward to traverse the terrain if you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
Or, like you just have a general idea of like trying to get to like certain places, and sometimes you get stuck in the side of a mountain. It's like, oh gosh, I don't get down.
They have the carriages. You just ride the carriage.
I guess, but what if you don't have enough money?
And you steal it off people.
And
Yeah.
Okay, Skyrim, I'm going to hard defend Skyrim because I genuinely think it's one of the best games ever made. And I know it's like a big joke, kind of like people like to shit on that game. And it is funny to like, wow, this is ridiculous that Skyrim's been released like 10 million times.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
And like all the weird shit in that game that just doesn't make sense. Like I think the main story is a cool idea, but kind of sucks in execution.
Yeah.
But the freaking start of the game sets up everything that can be exciting for you to jumpstart the story. So like it sets up the Civil War, it sets up dragons coming back. That's exciting. There's a Civil War and dragons in this place. What?
Yeah.
And then it throws you into the world and it gives you 3 stones: the Sorcerer's Stone, the Thief Stone, and
I don't know.
and the Warrior Stone.
I don't know to this day what those stones
They
do.
tell you. They boost. So if you want to be, I kind of want to play it as a wizard guy. I'm going to select that. Okay, now that I get more XP for all the wizard-based stuff, enchanting, and alchemy, and conjuring, destruction, all the spells and stuff. I want to be more of a warrior character. I'll do that so I can get higher XP in that area. Okay. Oh no, I want to play more of a stealthy thief. I get to do that. It doesn't give you class options. It gives you tools to build classes. It has all the stuff, like all the. You're not locked into anything at the start of the game, and you can switch whenever you want, and you get to explore the world and find tools and build who you want to build. It's like Elden Ring in the same way, but better.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of, and you might agree with me too, a lot of the things in Skyrim have just been done so much better in other RPGs. Like
What? Okay.
I just find the class building to be so, like, it's good,
yeah, it's not bad.
but it's confusing in a way, because it's like, for someone that's playing through the game, they might just, most likely they're just gonna pick whatever they think, and then they just become a mishmash.
That's the genius.
But
of
then
it,
it's just kind of, you become a nothing character because you're a mishmash.
That's what makes I've replayed this game a dozen times because you play through the game once. I'm just gonna be a warrior. I'm gonna freaking dual wield weapons because that feels powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know what. Like, I'm just gonna have 2 weapons. I can read stats enough. I know I'm just gonna be this. Then as you explore the game, you learn you find all these different tools. You're like, what's this thing? What do these spells do? What are these scrolls I'm learning? What is all this stuff? Then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back, and I want to build a character around being a vampire. What does being a vampire lord look like?
That is definitely the strong suit of the game. Is just like that's why there are so many challenge runs of that game, is to see if you can beat it in this really specific way, because there is so many specific ways you can build your character around.
Right.
That is where it is the strongest.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But the weakest part is everything else.
The weakest part is
No,
the weakest
there is-
part is the story, and all the side quests are pretty boring.
There's some really cool freaking side quests.
There
I'm
are,
sure,
but there's also like,
But you could say that about any open world game.
that you definitely can.
The main
It's just-
story sucks and side quests are better.
That's not necessarily true. There's some open world games where the main story is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, I don't remember a single thing about the main story of Skyrim.
That's because you didn't play it.
I did. I have.
That's because this main story isn't really the main story.
I've tried.
The main story is whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's just I feel like you have that character class thing, and Skyrim would have been beautiful if the main story and stuff were just like much more engaging and bounced off of your character more. But it's just kind of like this one set thing, and then sometimes there is some interesting things about a side quest or something.
Yeah, it's
But
more of
not a whole lot. It's just kind of shrouded in a ton of the same side quest, which I know is a complaint that you can have with other RPGs, but in the scale that is Skyrim, which is fucking huge, like there is so much. And whenever I make a new character and go throughout that game, I'm like, I know I have to do some of these, and I really don't want
But
to.
you don't.
You don't. You really
don't have to do the main story unless you want to unlock some areas. But you could literally replaying the game. You don't have to get through the story to level up or get anything super unique. Like you just have to quickly unlock the shouts, and then there's some areas that are locked off. But there's so many like little side quests, and it's more like I'm going to do this mission and play it this way. It's like the game doesn't give you a lot of choices, and your character is just like.
Which is what I feel like it would have excelled in, though,
But
is if you did have more choice.
I just feel like that's not really what, like, Skyrim is about, like, creating your character, not really creating the world.
Yeah.
right, which is, but like it sets up a pretty cool world, but then I just like end up not really caring. Like in the Civil War, like. The Stormcloaks are obviously the good guys.
Well, actually, they're not.
They're actually incredibly racist.
They're pretty racist.
Well, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But like
If you actually delve into it and talk,
I guess I was
people-
just too bored to delve into it.
I mean, if you're gonna be an ignorant civilian of this.
Okay, I just gotta say, like, I don't dislike Skyrim. I just think that there are a lot of things holding it back, mechanically too. Oh my god, the amount of bugs and glitches and load screen time in that game is utterly ridiculous.
That's why they keep releasing it, so the load screen games get a little
The load screens were a pretty big problem for me.
But at the same time, like, I did have fun with it. Making a mage character, just whatever you want them to be, that is a lot of fun.
Exactly.
But then going throughout and you're like, I want my mage to be the most powerful in Skyrim. That is what makes it a slog, I think, is trying to like 100% or whatever that game,
But you don't have to.
You don't have to, but a lot of people will want
Plus,
to.
it doesn't, there's no, like, there are quests that you can't complete sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, just like the Daedric artifacts, it's not something you really have to go and collect. It's just like cool artifacts in the world, and it's like, whoa, I'm gonna wield this thing because it's badass, and I want to build my character on this. I just think there's so much fun to be had, and like, I'm gonna start a new character. I get to pick my race, and I notice now all these races do different things, so I'm gonna pick my race around that, and I want to be. Like, I could go on and on about different class combinations. I'm just, the way the classes work in that game, like, it is weird. I do wish it gave you some XP for, like, completing quests. But you kind of get money out of that, which you can spend to get XP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, the companions are really funny. Bethesda's games are just so broken, and I think it adds a little bit to the charm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the world falls a little bit flat for me.
But it's so, like, fleshed out, too. Like the
Compared
history
to other
and stuff.
things. Well,
It
history-wise,
is, yeah, but just like being in it doesn't really feel all that whelming. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't convince
Yeah.
you of anything.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad game. It's a decent game, I guess, from my experience.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad at all. I just think it's a little overrated with how many releases it's had, and
Oh my gosh.
I guess they've added fishing now, so I love fishing.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now you can play it again.
It's very subjective to what you think on just the RPGs as a whole. If you enjoy RPGs, then you might have some dumb fun with it. If you don't, then you also might have
just
some
think-
dumb fun with it, you know?
If you're playing a Bethesda game, you're looking in the wrong spot for an RPG.
Yeah.
Your character's not going to have much of an effect on anything. It's more about what you want your character to be.
Except for New Vegas.
And yeah, but that's like Obsidian.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like,
That's true.
Yeah.
Like if like where was I going? That threw me off. But yeah, you don't play Bethesda games really to like. I'm going to like you play like what BioWare used to do. Like the Mass Effect games, your character is a character.
Yeah.
And you get to be have this narrative story that you get to change.
Mm-hmm.
With I don't know, like with Fallout 4, it's more like it's like almost literally a sandbox where you get to build
Oh my god.
build
yeah.
structures and stuff. You don't really like that's like if you're trying to role play in a story, your character wouldn't be able to build all that stuff, so it breaks the role playing
Yeah.
aspect.
That's
so
true.
that's kind of like the first thought, and then the second thought is like because the story kind of sucks in Fallout 4 too.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's better than Skyrim, I would say. Which
Yeah, I guess
which
it's-
isn't really
it's
the
more
argument for
memorable, yeah.
Skyrim, but yeah.
But and like I just I would don't get me wrong, I would have loved some like the final boss in Skyrim sucks,
Yeah.
but you know it's just a fun little sandbox. You get to jump in
Yeah.
and create characters. But we've talked about it for
that's
way
great.
too long.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay. My next option, it kind of fits into your Red Dead 2 argument. It's just GTA 5.
Yeah, I have that too.
It's like it's kind of also the same thing. If you played this in middle school, you know, that is when it was in its prime. Was in middle school.
Yeah.
That's when people really liked it, and that's what got it popular in the first place. I think if a lot of people went back and actually played that though, after playing legitimate games, you know, I'm not saying it's not a legitimate game, but like
After playing actual games.
no, yeah, just like playing other games, then I think they would just find it so boring, and that's just all the impressions I get even after playing it a bit. It's just really boring, and
Yeah.
there's so many things, but you just don't want to do any of them, you know.
Because I don't want to say too much because I don't think I'm coming from like a very informative place because I haven't played like barely any of it. But like there's the story
Yeah.
mode, which apparently is pretty good, but I didn't want to play the story because I was like, I want to have fun in the open world.
Yeah.
So I did the online mode and I was like, I don't know what the fuck
Oh
I'm
my
doing.
God,
So I just
yeah.
quit.
Yeah, same here.
And
Yeah.
plus the characters are really mean in the story. I don't want to play with them.
Yeah.
I've never played GTA 5, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all I really remember about it is middle school. It was the shit. Like it was the cool game. And I think that's all that it really has to it.
And that game is getting released.
it's getting
Yeah.
released as Skyrim syndrome.
Yep.
Who's released more, Skyrim or GTA 5?
Minecraft.
Okay.
Minecraft.
Minecraft?
Minecraft?
Are you laughing?
Minecraft had more releases, or just like on different platforms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that wasn't the question.
It's like it's a new console. It's Minecraft.
It's
Yeah.
Minecraft time.
Well,
I think that's just more them kind of expanding their.
because Minecraft it doesn't need a sequel, so just port it over.
Yeah.
And upgrade it a little.
Yeah, Minecraft's a bit of a different case.
Why did you bring up Minecraft?
Because I was just saying, it's been released on literally everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same if it's like gets just released on this type of console versus this type. Like literally for Skyrim, they were re-releasing a new version of the game that had more to it and whatnot, which you know, it's mainly just the DLC added to it. But
Yeah.
I mean, they do that for a lot of games.
Yeah,
They re-release
yeah.
it like the complete edition.
yeah, I think
But it does get ridiculous with the.
when there's just so many of
It's
them,
like this is the special edition. This is the legendary edition.
super duper special, awesome edition.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get through the whole of our list because we are running short on time. But we can go through one more round
Okay.
of us. I
Okay,
guess.
I'll pick my hottest take for my last one. Then.
Okay. I'm not gonna pick that one because we just talked about an Elder Scrolls game. I'm not gonna pick what I think about the other ones yet. I'm going to say I'm gonna frickin' go in on this game because I think it might be one of the most overrated games of all time.
Really?
And everyone loves it except me. Mario 64 is a crap game and has not aged well. The controls suck, the camera sucks, and it's a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not timeless. And I don't like it.
I think you're being a little too harsh on the old fella.
Listen, I know it was great for the time, but most people are like, I can still play it today and it's great. Guess what? Maybe because you grew up on it. It sucks.
That people are definitely blinded by their nostalgia, but I don't know. I still had a fine time playing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's someone that I'm being a little dramatic, but like I hated it when I played it. It was a terrible platform.
I do agree. The camera really sucked,
But as a disclaimer, like for platformers, I much prefer 2D over 3-dimensional. I just think it's you could get smoother gameplay out of it.
yeah.
But yeah, Mario 64 I did not like, and I think it's overrated.
All right. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that.
Yeah. What's your last one?
Oh, I have Pokemon on here.
Okay.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I haven't played any Pokemon, but
I've played.
I have no interest in them just because they all look really boring.
Yeah, I've played 3 of them, I think. I've played Sword, which I know is like the worst one. But I played Emerald, I think. I don't remember. They all
They're just colors.
They're literally the same game, even more so than Call of Duty, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it.
You've always got your rival.
Yeah.
And they don't even do yearly releases, or do they? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like every time I look online, there's a new Pokemon game.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know.
I have to pay respects to Pokemon for just originally bringing that original idea to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't understand why there has to be so many games that are the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, that is the definition of overrated. I feel like, you know.
Yeah, Pokemon is
They have new Pokemons, guys.
That
You gotta
is-
collect
that's
them
it.
all.
That's it. New place, new Pokemon. Like, maybe a new story, maybe, if you get lucky. I feel like their stories are pretty awful from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it.
I think they should go back to like being pixelated games. I don't like the 3D models and
Yeah.
such like
Yeah.
Sword. Just looks too corporate.
Yeah.
This looks too
Yeah.
businessy.
This is supposed to be a children's game. Or
Yeah.
is it? I don't even know. But
Well, the thing with those, I feel like with a lot of Nintendo games, they're stuck in that, like, because they're great for kids, but then when people grow up, they're kind of the fans of those games, and when the
Yeah.
games don't grow up with you, like, I think Breath of the Wild Legend of Zelda did good growing up, like,
Yeah.
as a franchise with Breath of the Wild, but, like, if you don't
Yeah.
grow up with your audience,
Yeah.
like, Odyssey
definitely.
was also another one that was like, all right, let's step this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Odyssey's a great game.
It is. It's a great Mario game. That's actually a good 3D Mario game, unlike another game I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just like have under any JRPG.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I have a few. I'll just list my JRPGs off, and I'm not going to go into detail. Xenoblade Chronicles and Dragon Quest kind of suck.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I played that one game, that Fire Emblem Tokyo thing mashup.
Tokyo Mirage.
Yeah, that game sucked. And I haven't played Persona 5, and this is probably controversial, but that game probably sucks.
I like Persona 5. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's your last one, Matheran?
Ryan, you're gonna hate me for
Oh,
this.
God, am I going to go off on it again?
Halo Infinite.
Oh,
is-
well, no. I
okay.
don't know.
It's
It's not even overrated.
Yeah.
It's
Everyone hates that game.
yeah. I know. But at the same time, it's over. No, I'm just kidding. I just If
If the developers like that game, it's overrated.
yeah. I really think
Why don't you say the Halo franchise?
because that's the thing though, is I don't think that the Halo franchise itself is overrated. Maybe aspects of it, and I feel like Halo Infinite is just kind of the cusp of the overratedness. Literally, the reason that game is alive is because of the nostalgia from it that people have on the other Halo games. That's the only reason I really put it on here, because it's really not overrated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's in my genuine opinion, it is a bad game. It is just bad. I'm sorry, Ryan. But I do not like it. Maybe that's just coming from me and my past of not playing Halo games at all. But I've just seen how, and this is a huge thing to me, is how creative you can get with a game and where you can expand it, even if it's just a little thing to a big thing, you know, because it kind of depends on how you made your games. And Halo Infinite did not do that whatsoever. They made it open world. That was about it.
Okay, well,
That was
are you
just
talking about
bad.
the campaign or the multi?
Both. Both.
Because I think the campaign does suck.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it through it.
Yeah. And then the multiplayer is just the same thing, which it's multiplayer, so it kind of gets a pass on that. But
I do appreciate. I don't know. I like the multiplayer if I could play it.
Yeah.
My computer doesn't like Halo Infinite, and everything just runs really slow, and half the time I can't even get into games.
yeah.
But this only happened in the second season. But I do appreciate. I don't know.
Yeah.
They adding more game modes. It seems like they're actively adding different game modes.
Yeah, but really slowly.
It
It
really
should have been
slowly,
over
yeah.
from the start.
Yeah, multiplayer is just kind of a thing that's different from single player, because you can keep adding to it. If you're making your multiplayer game one that can live on for years, you can just keep adding to it. And so therefore, it's not that thing of like how timeless it is, because it is. If it's multiplayer, it's immediately going to be more timeless than any single player game, because there are people actively
I don't
playing it.
know.
Not in all cases, but in most of the time. Like, you know, Wizard 101. You know how long that's been out? People still play that. It's not like some game that's just like a relic lost to time.
People still play Skyrim, though.
That is true. Yes, but that's also because it's been released like 70 times. But anyways,
Yeah, I'll say I think Halo Infinite has a good multiplayer because I think the gameplay is pretty fun. There's
Yeah.
beauty and simplicity, and that's
Yeah.
what the multiplayer gameplay has.
yeah.
But it's
definitely.
locked away behind the stupid live service that like they need to stretch everything out so it prolongs this life. But you're just giving it a long death. Like,
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
there's
Like-
just things that need to be in so people actually want to replay your game.
Yeah.
Because then people play it and they have to like do everything that they can. They have to wait like 6 months just for new content to be added.
Because if people like the game, they're going to play it a lot and complete the battle pass and then not have any motivation because what are they going to get from it? And then they have to wait. So you're keeping the people that are either going to lose the people, or the people that will have completed the battle pass you're going to lose them because you stretch out all the new content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the campaign, I enjoyed the campaign when I played it, but like I don't remember anything about it because the story is really forgettable because they decided to do what every game is apparently doing nowadays and just making it open world.
Yeah.
So there's no
Even the
cool-
new
there's
Sonic
not-
game is open
Oh
world.
my gosh. Yeah. Even the new Kirby game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't have any memorable missions when you set it in an open world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can, but they didn't do any of that. It's just Master Chief running around figuring out what happened. It's explaining something that we didn't even see happen.
Yeah, that was such a strange approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we close off on this, there are 2 games on my list that are essentially the same thing that aforementioned, like Call of Duty, have been doing. That is Assassin's Creed and Far Cry.
I wouldn't call those over Assassin's Creed's. I mean, if you talk about like the older games that are loved, then like, maybe they're overrated. But Assassin's Creed now,
Oh yeah, now it's not, but just as a whole franchise. I only wanted to mention these, not talk about them, just mention them because they suffer from the same overratedness of just being re-released almost nothing changed,
Yeah.
or just not enough changed.
I mean, like, Assassin's Creed tries to do it with, like,
Yeah.
different time periods, but it's not really.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't played a lot of the newer ones. I think I stopped at Syndicate.
yeah,
Syndicate. I don't know. It's all right.
I like
But-
Syndicate.
yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to mention those. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And as we lay this topic to rest,
yeah.
I know. I think I don't think we can do this podcast anymore.
Yeah, I kind of hate you guys now.
I don't know. No, it's just mainly that Skyrim thing.
I'm sorry. What can I say?
We'll sit down together and I will watch you play Skyrim
Yeah.
until you enjoy it.
It's kind of the subjectivity thing. There are
That's what this whole
universally
topic is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are the universally agreed overrated games.
Yeah. If anyone plays any of the games that I listed, I don't hate you as a person.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
enjoyed the games, and
Yeah.
us calling them overrated, we recognize that a lot of people love these games. We're just saying we don't, and we're
Yeah.
calling it overrated because it looks better in a title.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll start closing it out. It's getting a little late for us. We've got more gaming to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for being here, guys, on this new episode of Checkpoint Corner.
Yeah.
I guess next week we could talk about underrated games.
You've already made the list.
I've already made the list because I forgot we were doing overrated games, and I thought we were doing underrated games. And I'm sure once I end this podcast, there'll be like another overrated game I wish I talked about. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, next week I guess we can do a underrated.
yeah. Ryan, it's your turn, I believe.
Oh, to recommend a game.
To recommend a
lead.
game.
I'm going to well, what should I recommend? I really should have thought of.
I
this.
told you.
Yeah.
No, but
Coming off the heels.
I'm going
of
to
the,
recommend that people play the Elder Scrolls 5
Oh,
Skyrim,
man.
whatever edition
Terrible.
you want.
Don't play it. Don't
I
play it.
recommend you play the DLCs because all the DLCs are really good. You get a freaking whole new island to play on in the Dragonborn.
That's true.
You get a really good vampire story in the Dawn Guard, and you get to build houses in one of them, and that's really cool. There's so much to do in that game. It's on Game Pass. You've probably already played it by now, but play through it again. Have fun with your character. Prove these guys wrong. Thank you. This has been Checkpoint Corner. We have an email, checkpointcornerpod@gmail.com if you want to send us stuff. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.